host, Checkers the Inventor.
Hello everybody, welcome to Checkers Library TV. I'm your host, Checkers the Inventor. I'm so excited to have you with us today. We can't wait to get into our premiere episode, and we hope you're happy to be with us as well. Now there's a lot of exciting things happening today. In fact, every single Monday, a new episode of Checkers Library TV will be out throughout the entire summer. We're going to be doing things like story time. I'm going to be doing book recommendations. We're going to have jokes, trivia, and we're also going to be meeting with special guests every single episode. We have a really cool guest for today, but I can't tell you who it is yet, but I'm going to tell you it's really, really exciting. Before I go any further, I probably should introduce one of my friends, one of my best friends, my robot friend. His name is Snoozer.
Da-da-da-da-da-da! Hi, boys and girls. I am Snoozer.
Awesome. Snoozer is ready to go. Well, Snoozer was one of my very first inventions. I built Snoozer out of a vacuum. And now that I'm talking about Snoozer, a lot of you might have seen Snoozer and I before at different places and know all about Checkers the Inventor and Snoozer. But because this is our very first national show, there might be people out there who've never seen us before. So you know what? I think now would be a good time to introduce ourselves a little bit better, because my story of entertaining and doing all sorts of awesome stuff goes all the way back to 1997. Ask your parents. When I was growing up, two of the things I loved most was reading and using my imagination. There I am reading with my sister. My mom was a teacher. My dad had some boring job, but his hobby was being a magician. He even let me, my brother, and my sister be assistants in his magic shows. And that right there is my very first appearance in one of his magic videos. Oh, and there I am dressed as a tiger. That was in one of his magic shows. When I was in 3rd grade, my brother and I entered a talent show. My mom let me borrow this old pair of pants in the attic, and that is how I became Checkers, the clown. At first, I performed as a clown with my brother. The talent show was the first time my brother and I performed together by ourselves. We practiced this for a long time, and when I was 13 years old, we started our own business, Charlie and Checkers. My brother was Charlie. And everything changed when we were asked to perform for a library. This was so exciting because we could be a part of making reading and learning fun. We created a show just for libraries, and we got better and better at it and practiced until one day we were invited to perform at the White House. That's where the president lives. We were there for the annual White House Easter egg roll. We performed in front of over 30,000 guests from across the United States. We got to meet NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal, First Lady Michelle Obama, and all sorts of other families. It was an amazing experience, and we were even invited back twice. Eventually, I decided not to be a clown anymore, and I just went back to being myself. Shortly after the White House, I was selected as one of the top 5 young entrepreneurs in America, and I got to go back to Washington to accept my award. My brother decided that he wanted to be a doctor, so he went off to medical school, and I started my very own show. I wanted to build something new and really use my imagination, and that's where I came up with Checkers the Inventor. I started building my own inventions and machines, and I was going to college. I was also starting to do new things like create online videos. My videos got really popular across the whole world. I got over 6 million views on YouTube. And when I graduated college, I started a new company, School Programs USA East Coast. We provide high-energy educational presentations and performances that make student learning fun. That same year, I also published my very first book, Checkers and Snoozer, Snoozer's Science Adventure, a book I co-authored with Rachel D'Annunzio. It's all about my trip with Snoozer to a science museum. For the first time, I had my own book available in libraries. And now I am back with a brand new show, Checkers Library TV, and I couldn't be more excited about it. Wow. We have been on a lot of fun adventures, Snoozer, and I can't wait to be going on more adventures with you here on Checkers Library TV. Well, it is the week of May 25th, and that means it's time to look at what we're celebrating for this week. First up, I don't know if you knew this, Snoozer, it is National Backyard Games Week.
Ooh, I love playing in the backyard. I like to run and jump and play sports.
Absolutely. I love playing in the backyard. Now, when I was younger, I had a really big backyard. We had a big woods, too, so you could go and explore and imagine you were in a different world, come up with all sorts of games. And you could play sports like wiffle ball, tag. We played kick the can. I don't know if you've heard of kick the can, but my whole family would gather together and play kick the can. We loved doing that. And really, no matter what size backyard you have, you can come up with all sorts of different ideas. You can play big games, you can play small games, and we're getting into the summer weather, so you could have water balloon fights, and if you have a pool, you can swim in the pool. So really, backyard National Backyard Games Week it is. That is awesome. There's so much cool stuff to celebrate. So get outside and celebrate National Backyard Games Week. Now, next up, we are celebrating, this is pretty cool, Snoozer, National Tap Dance Day. This is May 25th. It is to celebrate this unique American art form of tap dance, and it's on the birthday of famous tap dancer Bill Bojangles Robinson.
Mr. Bojangles.
Snoozer, have you ever tap danced?
No, I have not. I don't have feet.
Right. Well, we are celebrating a happy birthday to anyone celebrating a birthday on May 25th all the way up to June 1st. So happy birthday from everyone here at Checkers Library TV. We hope you're enjoying your special day.
Happy birthday!
All right. Well, we hope you've enjoyed the show so far. There is a whole bunch more coming to you. We have a special guest coming up that we really think you're going to enjoy, and all sorts of games, activities, and new things to see. We cannot wait to be with you for that, and we'll check back with you later here on Checkers Library TV.
Did you know? Elephants are the largest land mammals. Elephants only eat plants, grass, and fruit. They don't eat meat. Elephants are scared of dogs. Woof woof! The leader of the herd is usually the oldest female. The library has tons of books about elephants. Visit the library to learn more.
All right, this week we are very excited with our special guest. Now, he is a doctor and our medical expert here on Checkers Library TV, the author of a new children's book, Snoozer Meets Dr. Dan, and also a firefighter in our community. Please join me in welcoming our guest. Everybody, let's get to know Dr. Dan. How are you doing, Dr. Dan?
I'm doing great, Checkers. How's everyone out there doing?
Well, we are all excited to have you with us. Now, this is our very first episode of Let's Get to Know, and we have some great questions for you. The very first question is this. We've talked all about a coronavirus, COVID-19. A lot of people at home have questions about it. They want to know answers. If you could say something to everyone at home about COVID-19, coronavirus, things that anyone should know, do you have anything you could share with us?
Absolutely. So it's, of course, very important that we're taking this very seriously and doing our best with social distancing and all the other things that the experts are telling us we should do. Now, that being said, it's very important that we're taking care of our health despite the fact that the situation's going on. So if we need medical care, we need to go to a checkup, we need to go to see our doctor, or we have an injury that requires us to go to the hospital, it's very important that we still do those things and we don't let the COVID-19 situation prevent us from taking care of our health.
So we definitely have to take care of our own health and make sure we're seeking out medical professionals whenever we can. But what about preventing the virus from spreading and preventing us from getting it? Do you have any tips for our families to tell us, different ways that we could help protect ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. So I just like to echo a lot of the things that the other experts have been saying. So it's very important that we're washing our hands for 20 seconds with soap and water, hot water. It's very important that we're maintaining social distancing, trying to stay at least 6 feet away from people, not leaving our house unless we have to, things like that, sanitizing our areas after we use them, doing our best to prevent this virus and keep it contained as much as possible.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Now, we talked about preventing it. We've talked about, helping to stop the spread. What about this? Now, here's something I want to get into that's really important. Mm-hmm. It is our time for the hot seat. We have 7 really quick questions for you. I'm very excited to ask them, and you have to answer them as quickly as you can. Do you think you can do it?
I'll do my best.
All right. Let's get right into it. First question. Cookies or ice cream?
Ooh, I'll go ice cream.
All right. Cats or dogs?
It's close, but I'll go dogs.
All right, let's see. Early riser or sleep in?
Definitely early riser. Early to bed, early to rise, makes men healthy, wealthy, and wise. Who said that, Checkers?
Benjamin Franklin?
You got it.
All right, I'm on the hot seat now. Next question, what's your favorite snack?
Ooh, I'm gonna go pretzels.
Favorite sport?
Favorite sport to watch? I'd say football. To play, I'd say basketball.
Basketball, that's a good answer. All right, what is your hobby?
Ooh, well, definitely firefighting for sure, yes, and also hanging out with you, Checkers.
All right, fantastic. Last question. Tell us something most people don't know about you.
Well, I don't know if you told them yet, but I'm Checkers' brother. I'm actually his older brother, although he looks a little older than me.
Dr. Dan is my brother, and you know what? Because Dr. Dan is my brother, I'm sure you're going to be back on our show a lot. Dr. Dan's going to be our medical professional expert. We're going to have him on our show a lot.
Absolutely, guys. It was great to talk to you, and I hope to be part of this going forward.
Thank you so much for Dr. Dan, and thank you for coming in. We can't wait to have you back. Thank you for joining us, and we will be back next week with a special guest here on Checkers Library TV.
If you would like to email Checkers and Snoozers, send your emails to checkers@checkerslibrarytv.com. We always look forward to hearing from you.
Checkers, and hello everyone that's watching. I'm going to be reading this story today. It is called I Am Not Scared. The author is Anna Kang, and the book is illustrated by Christopher Wyant. I am not scared. Enter. I wonder where they're going. Oh, there's a sad face, and there's a happy face. You are scared. I am not scared. Are you? No, I am brave. This will be fun. You look scared. Well, maybe a little. Don't worry. There are much scarier things than this. And this says, Loop of Doom. And there it looks like it's a roller coaster. I'm scared of roller coasters. Are you? Like what? Like snakes. Snakes? Yes, they are scary. So he's afraid of snakes. Or what about a tub of hairy spiders? Now that is scary. Or a pit of hot lava. A pan of fried ants. You're thinking of all kinds of scary things. An alien with pink eyes and furry teeth. A roller coaster. With a snake. Whoosh. Let's be scared together. That's a good idea. Okay. Ah! I Now that was scary. The scariest. But look, they're smiling. We are scared. That's funny. Sometimes things are scary when you've never tried, but once you try, you find out you might like it. You might like even being scared. Well, that was a great story. I'll see you next week for Storytime Theater on Checkers Library TV.
The question of the week. Which snack do you like best? Popcorn or peanuts? Thanks for watching The Question of the Week.
Welcome to our science experiment. Today we're going to be making bubbles. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of bubbles before, but after today, you're going to be able to make your own bubbles right from home. We need a few ingredients for this, and the very first ingredient is this. This is called distilled water. It's a special kind of water. You don't usually drink this like all the other water we usually drink. This water is for usually plants, sometimes for science experiments, things like that. We get it at the grocery store, a supermarket, or even at your local pharmacy. It's pretty easy to find, distilled water. Next thing is this, the dish soap. I'm sure all of you are helping your parents wash the dishes, and that means dish soap is right in your kitchen. Should be very easy to find. The last ingredient is kind of a secret. I can't tell you what it is yet. We're going to get to it in just a minute. By the way, this is a measuring cup. It's going to tell us exactly how much liquid we are using for our bubble solution. So let's we're going to put in 1 cup of distilled water, just like this. Now, we have 1 cup of distilled water. We're going to add the dish soap. We're going to put in 1 tablespoon, we have a little spoon here, 1 tablespoon of the dish soap, just like that. And that goes right into our solution. We mix it up like this, and now we have dish soap and distilled water. Last ingredient, the secret, is called glycerin. Glycerin is a very sticky substance, just like distilled water. You can find it at a supermarket or pharmacy, things like that. This is super sticky. That's what makes the bubble extra, sticky. It makes it form, makes it work a lot better. We're putting in 1/2 of 1 tablespoon of that. So a half of this, 1/2 a tablespoon. Boop, mix it in, just like this. Perfect. Now we have the glycerin, the dish soap, and the distilled water. The key to make this work is to wait 24 hours. Oh my gosh, that's a whole day. We can't wait that long. The good news is I've made my own solution, which has been waiting here for us to use today. Now this has been here for quite a while, so I think these bubbles are going to be all ready to go. Let's see. Look at that. Now, if you use the right amount of glycerin, you can even make this bounce. You can make it bounce off your clothes. If you have like special kind of gloves, like winter gloves, it might bounce off of that too. But today, we're going to be doing something really cool with our bubbles. I am going to be freezing a bubble. Now, to freeze a bubble, here's what you have to do. You have to have one of these. This is called the Cool Tool, and that fog it creates will freeze just about anything that it crosses paths with, which is why today we're going to be freezing our own bubble. Now here's what we need. We need to start with our bubble 1. We're going to create a bubble, just like this. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to say freeze, and we are going to freeze a bubble. Now say it with me. On the count of 3, say freeze. 1, 2, 3. Look at these options. Let's get that one right there. Ooh, that looks pretty frozen to me. Look at that, frozen solid right in the air. I can keep this bubble and take it home with me. This is awesome. Using the Cool Tool, we froze a bubble. And don't forget, you can now make your own bubbles right at home. You can't freeze them yet, but you can still make them, and you might even be able to make them bounce. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you on the next science experiment right here on Checkers Library TV.
The joke of the week. Why did the baseball player bring his bat to the library? His teacher told him to hit the books. Oh, thank you, thank you.
Welcome to Checkers Loves Books. I am going to be recommending books that I think you should be reading. We have books for younger readers and we have books for older readers. And today we have a very special book for younger readers that I want to talk about. It is called The Quilt Maker's Gift. This is a great book that I read when I was younger. It was one of my favorite books, actually. It is about a greedy king. He's materialistic. That means he likes to collect a lot of things. He's got a castle just full of stuff. He's got crowns and swords and all these giant chairs and chalices, and all these things he likes to collect. But this king comes across a quilt maker. That's somebody who makes quilts. And the problem is she only makes quilts for the poor, for people who really need her quilts. And he wants one, but she says she'll only give it to him if he gives away all of his possessions. Now, I read this book when I was younger, just like you guys are, and it was one of my favorites because first, it had amazing illustrations. All the pictures in the book are very colorful. I used to look at these for hours, and the book is just full of great illustrations. Also, the book has a great message about possessions and greed and how much stuff we have and does that really make us happy. It's an amazing book. I don't want to give it away, but I really think you should read it. It's a great story and it's great for families. You can have your mom and dad read it to you. That would be a lot of fun. Now, you can ask your library if they have this book. They just may. If they don't have the book, maybe they'll order it for you, or they might give you another book they might recommend that's kind of similar that they think you'll also enjoy. And that's the great thing about libraries. They have so many different books for you. So if one book's not available or somebody checked it out, that happens to me sometimes, you can always check out another book. So don't forget, that's the book. It is called The Quilt Maker's Gift. And now is a part of the show where I want to talk about a book that I'm going to recommend for some of the older readers, a book that I think you might be able to read all by yourself, which is called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Now, I'm sure a lot of people may have heard of this book before. There were 2 different movies made about it, so you may have seen the movie. You might have read the book before in class or at home. It's a great story about a little poor boy named Charlie Buckets who lives with his 4 grandparents and his mom and dad, and the family's very poor, but all of a sudden something comes to them, something really exciting, when a famous and strange inventor named Willy Wonka has a contest where all across the world he's inviting 5 lucky winners to his chocolate factory that no one had ever visited before. And the only way to win is to find a golden ticket inside their chocolate bar. Now, amazingly, Charlie finds a golden ticket and he wins a trip to the chocolate factory. Now, I'm not going to tell you what happens next, but there's all sorts of cool, strange rooms and amazing machines in the factory, and all sorts of cool stuff happens. I don't want to tell you anything else. You just have to read the book. It was one of my favorites when I was younger. I also love the movies that were made about it. There was one called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and one called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You may have seen one of them. You might have seen both the movies, but definitely read this book. There's some stuff in the book that wasn't in the movies that you might have never heard of before, and you're going to love it. So this might be a book you can read by yourself, and actually, if you are one of the younger readers, maybe your mom and dad could read this book to you, because you might enjoy it as well. Another book to check out at the library. Well, thanks very much for joining me today. We talked about The Quilt Maker's Gift and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And we'll be back next week because we have 2 new books we're going to recommend here on Checkers Loves Books on Checkers Library TV. Thank you.
Would you like the chance to have your very own keepsake of Checkers and Snoozer in your home? Now you can have your own Checkers and Snoozer books or your own Snoozer plush toy. Excellent for birthdays, holiday presents, special achievements, or just to have the fun of Checkers and Snoozer in your family's home. Order yours today at www.checkersinventor.com store.
Hey guys, welcome to Checkers Movie Talk. Now we are reviewing the new movie Scoob with Scooby-Doo. Normally we'd like to bring you a review at a movie theater, but with all the movie theaters closed, we decided we'd watch a movie in our backyard and bring you a review right from our backyard inside of...
Hurry up, Checkers!
All right, well, Snoozer's getting a little bit antsy. I better get inside. Let's get to the movie. We'll see you there. All right, welcome inside the Checkers van. We just watched Scoob. It's a movie about Scooby-Doo. It's got all the gang from the old classic show. We have Fred, Daphne, Velma, Shaggy, Scooby. All of them are all together. And this is kind of a story about how they went on their first adventure. It has all the characters grow up. And then we see a lot of awesome stuff. Shaggy and Scooby find out they might not be that important and they have to go on their own adventure. So Snoozer and I are going to talk about a few things. What we liked about the movie, what we didn't like about the movie, and our overall score out of 5. So I'm going to start with what I liked about the movie. I thought it had a really good animation style. It really captured the look of the old cartoons. And the cartoons have been around for about 50 years, so I'm sure everyone's had a chance to see some form of Scooby-Doo, and this was a great version of that in terms of the style. I thought there were a lot of good funny parts, and I liked the way they used a lot of the characters. There was a really good superhero character that I liked. It was a dog, and I liked him a lot. Dino Mutt, the dog wonder. He was probably my favorite character, so I really liked this character. Snoozer, what was some things about the movie that you really liked?
I liked the music, the bowling alley scene, and Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. And the villain.
Oh, the villain, his name was Dick Dastardly. Yeah, I liked him. He was from some of the old cartoons. I liked him a lot. So yeah, there was a lot of fun stuff there. The beginning was really strong. The villain had a very evil plot, and it was a cool mystery with that. So I liked seeing all of the Mystery Incorporated gang work together. But now we're going to talk about something we didn't like. So every time you see a movie, there's some stuff you like, there's some stuff you didn't like. We're going to get into that now. First thing I didn't like. Sometimes the story of the movie got a little bit confusing, and there was so much talking about what was going on, and I had a little bit of trouble following along sometimes. What was something that you didn't like about the movie, Snoozer?
I didn't like the superheroes. I wish it was just Scooby-Doo and his friends.
Oh yeah, there's some new superheroes in this movie. Now, a lot of people might like them, but Snoozer didn't like the new superhero characters. So I liked them, but Snoozer didn't. And that's all right. Sometimes we might have disagreements. Some person thinks one thing, and you might think another thing. And Snoozer and I have a disagreement about this movie. All right, well, our final score now. I'm going to give the movie 3 Checkers gears out of 5. I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. What are you going to give the movie out of 5, Snoozer?
I will give the movie 4 gears out of 5.
Thanks so much for joining us on Checkers Movie Talk. We're going to see you next time right here on Checkers Library TV. Well, thank you so much for joining us for our very first episode of Checkers Library TV. We hope you had as much fun with it as we did. We had a great time with this, and we can't wait to see you back next week because we are going to be making episodes every single week all summer long. So check back next week. We'll have a brand new episode, and the next one is going to be even more exciting because we're meeting with a brand new guests. We're going to be doing something that Snoozer's going to love. We have show and tell. I'm going to be bringing something to show you and talk about it. We're also going to be doing arts and crafts and a whole bunch more. Another 30-minute action-packed episode. By the way, if you have a question you want to ask me, if you have a joke you want to send, you might want Snoozer to read for the joke of the week, or anything else you're wondering or thinking about, email me at checkers@checkerslibrarytv.com. Again, checkers@checkerslibrarytv.com. And we will be happy to answer your email and question you have. And who knows, you might have a chance to have your joke or question read on our show, and we would love to do that with you. Well, thanks so much again. Don't forget to check back next week, and have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next week on Checkers Library TV.